Start printing this stuff out. It's kind of weird. This looks like it says scan 1245. 1345, whatever it says there. All right. I know it's the correct number of pages. So let's start with the quiz and going over that and making sure we're in good shape. Okay. The answer to the first one's 3. A number of people put 4 as the answer to the first one. First, the best way to do this is to factor it, which I forgot to show the work on because I did it in my head. But if you guys, if instead of factoring it, you just distribute back and see which one double distributes to be 2x squared minus x minus 3, choice 4 doesn't double distribute back to that. Choice 4 is plus x in the middle, not minus x. So it can't be choice 4. It has to be choice 3. Okay?
I got minus when I did it.
You done did it wrong. If you do it again, I think you'll catch your mistake. All right? Anthony?
Oh, no, I was just making. No, I was just stretching.
Oh, okay. All right. Anthony, you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sound like you got a stuffy nose.
No, fine.
All right. All right. Now, number 2. As I look at this, the 0.5 is going to make it wider, less stretch, if you will. The -2 is going to shift the 2 to the right. Remember, in parentheses, it's always reversed. That's your horizontal shift. And your vertical shift is up 1. So that's choice 4. And as far as number 3 goes, with the numbers changed, if you check the choices, the only one that checks is choice B. All right? So virtually every person got number 3 right. Very few people, I think maybe 2 people got number 2 wrong. So we're definitely getting better, but we're not quite where we need to be. At this point in time, there are maybe 3 or 4 kids in the class who haven't gotten 100 on this. So if you're not there, understand your classmates are, so you can get there too. All right? I believe that that'll take place. Any questions on the quiz? All right, as always, study the quiz before you get in here tomorrow. Next up, last night's homework. Let's get it out and let's start checking, because a lot of these questions are going to be similar to questions on your pretest. In fact, you probably noticed that already. It's a little sloppy on the first one. It should say 312, so I was going to reduce that, but just leave it 312, so otherwise you're not going to get the 12x squared out of it. And I should go backwards here. I finished it up by doing that. Oh. Yes?
How did you get 9x on the first one?
Oh, that would explain why I couldn't reduce it. Thank you for catching that, because I was looking at that going, what the heck? It should have been 9 and 4, not 12 and 3. You found the Linquist Daily Dumb Mistake. Very good. Yeah, it should. I'm telling you, I do something stupid every day. So it should then work out to be x plus 9x minus 4, which would divide by 12. So that would be, I think, 4x plus 3 and whatever, 3x minus 4, something like that. Okay. All right. It's a little late for me to correct it, but ding, 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 ding. The Linquist Daily Dumb Mistake. I could be like really cheesy and lie to you and say, oh, I just do that to see if you're paying attention, or I just do it to see if you can catch my mistakes. But the truth of the matter is I just screw up. That's because I do them at extra help when I have kids and I'm trying to do their questions and my questions, and I just lose my concentration. Spencer.
Teachers made mistakes all the time.
Yes.
Like in like the 3rd and 4th grade, and they would just be like, "Oh, I was just doing that to see if you were paying attention." Were they lying?
Yes.
Oh my.
I think I made an
Yeah. Okay. Now, Carissa is like my scout. She is constantly checking up to know exactly what she's gonna have to do on the test, because there's certain things she does not want to do on the test. So she informed me today that there were no questions on the test where you're asked to simplify radicals. But I believe you will be as part of the quadratic formula. So here is the area where you're gonna see that you have to simplify a radical on the test, okay? I'm sure you looked at the first page of that and saw all of the solving and factoring, so you gotta do a lot of that on the test. Okay, again, there are no sequences on the test, but there's a sequence question. We will pick up with sequences after the test. I think we got one more day of them coming. And this is just some radical expression work. Don't worry about variables. As far as I can tell, they don't ask any variable stuff on the Regents, so I've killed off the variables. If they do, we'll get to it when we hit Regents review. I don't think they do, though. Yeah. Oh, man, I could sleep today.
Are you okay?
I am exhausted.
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired when I wake up every day.
Sydney, by the way, from now on, you're known as Patient Zero.
Okay,
That will be your name from now on.
that makes sense.
Now here?
Yes. What's that?
Now here?
Now here's another name for another student. That would be Sabrina's name.
Wait, why?
Because she read nowhere and said, now here. She's also the only blonde brunette I know. Okay. All they're looking for on this one is to summarize it in words. To get the new term, you add the two previous terms. I told you about Coach Friend in reading, right? I didn't tell you about Coach Friend? Oh.
The guy that used to work here and then retired last year?
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff together for a really long time, and one year we were taking CPR, and you got to do it like every 3 years for your coaching certification, and they give you these scenarios, and one of them was that this guy got like an electrical shock in the kitchen, and you had to give him CPR, so you read like this introductory paragraph, and he's reading it, and he goes, blah, 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 and then he reached for the metal spatula. And we died laughing. He goes, what? Spatula. So, whenever we see him, we always mention the spatula. So, that's why I call her Now Here.
You just realized that. She goes, oh, spatula.
Next time Coach comes in, I'm going to introduce you to him. You can get along very well. All right. Any questions here, guys? All right, I know there are one or two questions that involve translating and horizontal transformations and dilations and so on and so forth. So you got to be prepared for questions like this one here at the end using the parent function y equals absolute x. Okay. I know you can actually graph it, and I know there's one on the pretest where you have to graph it, but you should also be able to look at it and analyze what's happening. Any questions? Okay, scan 4. The nice thing about this is there's a couple of questions from yesterday that we didn't get to in class that we can now cover. All you do is try out the formulas and see what works and doesn't work. The first one does not work, the next two do work. This is the one we actually did in class where the first term is 10 and then you go up 4 from there. Remember, this is new term equals previous term plus 4. You have to learn to translate that in your mind. This guy, here's the first term, second term, third term. The first term it says here is 2. Then the rule is to multiply the previous term by -2 and add 3. So if I plug in a 2, what's -2 times 2?
-4.
Plus 3, -1. Then I got to plug in a -1. -2 times -1 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay? And the last one, it says the third term is 10 in an arithmetic sequence, which means you add the same thing every time. And the fifth term is 26. So if the third term is 10, and the fifth term is 26, then that means I got blah, 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 I don't know, blah, 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 10, blah, 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 26. So I've gone up 16 total units, but I've gone up twice, so I divide by 2. That means I'm going up 8 every single time. Now, if I go backwards, I go to 2, and then I go to -6. That's what I did here. So that means the first term is -6, and then you're going up by 8. So the common difference is 8 times n minus 1. So I could leave it like that, but then I look at the choices, it's not a choice. But then I can distribute the 8, and when I distribute the 8, I come up with -14 plus 8n. Okay? Any questions? Of course, it is possible to use the formula for the third term and the fifth term and see which one comes out to 26 and 10 in the opposite order. All right, so we're good? All right, yes.
The only thing I don't understand is simplifying the radicals.
We'll just keep slugging away at it. All right? You have, I think there'll be one on the quadratic formula on your pretest, and you can bring it up when you get to it if you can't get it. Oh, one thing I want to say about the quadratic formula, or I should say simplifying radicals. It was probably the most asked topic at today's Extra Help. And I noticed on every single person's paper that brought it up to go over today, and I was very happy that they brought it up to go over today, but not a single person had written the list of perfect squares across the section. And if you remember, I said that what I always tell kids to do when it comes to simplifying radicals is to always write the list of perfect squares across the top, and then look for the biggest perfect square that divides into whatever you're looking to simplify. Without that list of radicals, it's easy to go wrong, but write that list out before you do it, all right? I would actually recommend that. I said I do this with kids on the Regents, we do it, and I would also do it in here. You can walk into the test on Friday, and before you even write your name, you can just write across the top of the test a list of perfect squares, so you have them there ready to use. Yes?
Maybe just put in the calculator y equals x squared and then just have the table full.
Yeah, and then you could see wherever you see the same number. But the problem is if you do y equals like x squared, oh, okay, and then you see the list of perfect squares. Yeah, okay, that works. That's a good start. Yes?
On the test, on number 15, it's like 3 and then radical 8 minus 2.
You don't have to do that one.
Oh.
There is one question, I guess it's number 15 on the test, that says to add or subtract radicals. It's free on the test. I'm giving it to you. Get rid of it. All right, any questions?
What'd you say you're giving to us?
The one that's the adding and subtracting radicals on your pretest. You'll get that on the test. I'll give it to you free. Or it won't be adding and subtracting. It'll just be a regular one. All right. You guys can now get started on, if you feel you want to work together, you can work together, but do not distract each other and become social. Or you can work alone, whatever you prefer.
I didn't.
This guy was missing for no reason. Or maybe-